Good day, Kuna Envy. Our today's topic is urbanization, but in this lesson we'll focus much on why cities are growing. Okay, before we proceed with our lesson, I would like to recap what you learned from the previous lesson, which was settlement, right? During settlement lesson, you learned the types of settlement, which are rural and urban settlement. You also learned the disadvantages and advantages of urban and rural settlement. Okay, so when we talk about rural settlement, we're talking about an area where most of people practice agriculture. Okay, and then when we talk about urban settlement, we're talking about an area where most of people are involved in non-agricultural activities. Okay, so in this lesson we'll be looking at the concept of urbanization, why cities are growing. Here we'll be focusing much on the pull and the push factors. Okay, so before we continue with our lesson, I would like to hear from you what you understand about the term urbanization.
Urbanization, I think it's a process that causes an urban population to an urban population of a particular area to increase, which results in people moving from rural areas to urban areas.
Okay, urbanization indeed is the process that causes the urban population of an area to increase. Okay, urbanization results in more people living in towns and cities. All right. So urbanization causes existing cities to increase in size and have more people live in them. And it may also cause new cities to be built up. Okay. So the movement of people from one place to another has the specific word called migration. All right. You might had the word migration before. You might had immigration and or immigration. All right. Um, Immigration is when someone move is when someone moves is when someone moves to the country, and immigration is when someone comes into the country. Okay, so migration is the both immigration and immigration. All right, migration is the movement of people from one place to another. All right, so migration is an everyday life because for example, this year most of people were moving from Gauteng to Mpumalanga, and from Limpopo to Gauteng due to COVID-19. Okay, um, let's look at why cities are growing. All right, in grade 6, you examine the reasons why people live where they do, where you were looking at the places where they can make a living, areas where there is good farmland, availability of water, political reasons. Okay, many people move from rural areas or from one place to another due to conditions that change over time. Okay, when conditions change, people may need to move to live and work in another area. For example, soil can be infertile or washed away by floods. All right. As I've said that people living in rural areas depend on agriculture. When the fertile soil is washed away, it means that they will suffer from hunger, and then they will be forced to move from rural areas to urban areas to seek for enough food. Okay, another thing is if the factories in rural areas are closed, it means that most of people will lose their jobs, so they will move from rural areas to urban areas to look for job opportunities. All right. There are many reasons why people migrate, but the most common result is that they move to urban areas. Okay, so I would like to hear from you. What do you think, or what are the reasons that causes people to move from one place to another, or from rural areas to urban areas?
Thank you, ma'am. There are many reasons that are causing people to move from one place to another. Number one, to escape poverty. Many people are leaving their homeland because of poverty. Some they are leaving their homeland because of lack of opportunity. So they are trying to leave their homeland to get something for them to sustain their life. Another thing, environmental reason. Sometimes nature can strike, rendering people homeless and helpless due to some of floods and other natural disasters. And another thing is social reason. And another thing, high standard of living.
Another reason why people move from rural areas to urban areas is economic reasons that includes the causes such as the marketplaces in terms of the existence and development of cities, and as well as urban areas. And another reason is a political reason can also lead people to move from rural areas to urban areas.
Okay, thank you. Indeed, there are many reasons why people move from one place to another. But in this lesson, we will look at 4 reasons. Okay. The first reason is social. So web could be involved in people wanting to move from rural areas to urban areas, right? And then the second one is the first one is economic reason. All right. So work could be involved in people wanting to move from urban areas to not from urban areas, moving from rural areas to urban areas, right? And then the second one is social reasons. People move from rural areas to um, urban areas for better schools, or to live with their family members. And then the third one is political reasons. Here, people move to an area based on politics or war. All right. And then the last one is environmental. Things like drought can cause migration. All right. So let's look at the push and the pull factors of migration. Negative reasons that cause people to move away from an area are called push factors. And the positive reasons that attract people to an area are called pull factors. Okay, so employment opportunities in cities are one of the main pull factors. Many industries are located in cities and offer opportunities of high urban wages. There are also more educational institutions providing courses and training in a wide range of subjects and skills. Okay, people are attracted to an urban lifestyle and the bright lights of city life. All of these factors result in both temporary and permanent migration to urban areas. Okay, these are the positive reasons why these are the positive reasons that attract people to an area. Okay, poor living conditions and lack of opportunities for paid employment in rural areas are push factors. Okay, people are moving away from rural areas because of poor health care, limited educational and economic opportunities, as well as environmental changes such as droughts, floods, lack of availability of sufficiently productive land, and other pressures on rural livelihoods. Okay, so these are the negative reasons that causes people to move away from an area. Okay, so in conclusion, rural to urban migration can be a selective process, as some types of people are more likely to move than others. All right, so one of the factors involved is gender. All right, because employment opportunities vary greatly with the different jobs for men and women. So most people who move from rural areas to urban areas are men. Okay, another factor is age. All right, so young people are more likely to move to towns, with more elderly people and children left in rural areas. Okay, migration affect the population in both rural and urban settlements. Okay, so if more men move to towns and cities than women, this leaves a predominantly female society in rural areas. Okay, this is the end of our our lesson. If you have questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I have two questions to ask. The first one is what exactly causes urbanization? What are the causes of urbanization?
Okay, employment opportunities is one of the causes of urbanization. Reason being, in cities and towns, there are a lot of job opportunities. continually draw people from rural areas to seek better livelihood in urban areas. Another thing is social benefit and services. Okay, so here there are numerous social benefits in um, Sihlangu, can you please mute your mic? Okay, as I've said, social benefit and services um, is the cause of urbanization because there are numerous social benefits attributed to life in cities and towns. All right, so examples include better educational facilities, better standard of living, better houses, um, and better social life in general. Another question.
Thank you, ma'am.
Another question.
Okay.
Another question is uh, what really affects the development of urbanization or the city environment?
Okay, urbanization impact the physical environment in several ways. Okay, it affects the land, the air, water, and wildlife because of the number of people, the amount of buildings and constructions, and the increased demands on resources. Okay, another question.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to understand why many people are born in rural areas. When time goes on, they leave rural area to urban area. So I want to know why.
Okay, the reason why people move from rural areas is in urban areas there are a lot of job opportunities, and and the schools there are better than that are in rural areas. So most of people move from rural areas for better houses in urban areas, for jobs, for yeah, for for better hospitalities. Yeah. Another thing, another question. Okay, in the absence of question, I think this is the end of our lesson. So thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.